I'll tell you what, there's a trash can everywhere I look that says American on it. You're in every single business, and I'm just thankful that God is doing what He's doing for you. And if you've not heard this story, you guys are in for a treat today. Paul Ross is the VP of American Waste Control, a family company, and is the pioneer leader who has helped change the landscape of waste management industries through his passion to improve our city and help conserve our natural resources. Praise God. Paul graduated from ORU University, I didn't know that, Paul, and received his BS in business management. As a result, driven manager, Paul has a dynamic leadership style and solid commitment to helping people. We know that firsthand, haven't we, Tim?
Yes.
He's responsible for helping the markets and lead the AWC's most important recycle initiative. Mr. Murph? A $10 million material recovery facility. If you've never seen it, Ted told me a little bit about it, but if you've never seen it, it's a state-of-the-art. And has designed it. He's just a wonderful guy. He has a passion for kids. He's a great family man. But more importantly, guys, he loves the Lord. And if you've not heard his testimony, you're in for a treat today. So why don't you welcome Paul for me and give him a great round of applause.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for having me. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm a little nervous, but we're going to make it. I mean, I couldn't be as nervous as those folks that voted for Hillary the other night. So I think I'll make it through this. They made it through that. No, I'm just joking, but what a night that was. We're thrilled to be here, and he said it. We do have a lot of dumpsters out there, and it didn't start that way. It really didn't. Started with one man and one truck. And if you have a brown or a tan colored dumpster in your yard or in your parking lot in your business, or one of our plastic poly carts at your curb, if you live in Jenks, Bixby, Glenpool, and we haul you, I just want to say thanks. It means the world to me and my family. It means the world to that driver that's probably been up since midnight hauling your trash. Our drivers have been around, and we have very low turnover rate. They stick around for a long time, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. But just want to say thank you for your business. The story is about one man and one truck and what happened with American Waste Control in this market. I want to explain that, but I want to start off by giving you some background about myself. My name is Paul. My wife's name is Liliana. We have 5 kids. I believe Officer Craig said he has 5'2". Did he say he had 5'2"?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We have a problem. We have to stop what it is that we're doing that creates the children. Usually in my photographs, I generally smile really big. I'm very, I just smile. I'm a very happy guy. This picture, what kind of look is that I have on my face? It's my. Does that look blurry to you all? Does that look blurry? It's not blurry, is it? It's okay. Okay. This is right after we brought home Hazel, our youngest, the little one right there. She was premature a couple of months, and I told my wife, I said, hey babe, if we're making premature babies, we probably got to stop making babies altogether. So, jury's still out on that, it seems, but those are my 5 wonderful children and my wife, and they go to Christian Montessori Academy, and we live at 81st and Harvard, right behind ORU, right behind the soccer fields. I love it. I can see ORU playing soccer right from my sunroom or my backyard. It's a lot of fun. I love it. It's a great neighborhood, Walnut Creek, very quiet, very peaceful. So this is my family in a nutshell. Now, American Waste Control, the story started really in 1970. So before Kenneth Burkett, our founder and president, and my stepfather, before he got into the trash business in 1970, he actually was a baker. He'd get up very early in the morning, just like trash men get up very early in the morning, and he would bake cakes, bake pies, bake donuts, all right? He did this for years. This is before the large supermarkets basically owned the bakery inside, okay? So he would be the contracted baker in these supermarkets. Well, he always had this guy come around. His name is Paul Roberts. He was a trash hauler. He'd be there very early. He'd say, oh, Kenny, you got to get in the trash business. You're just not going to believe it. Holy smokes, you got to get in the trash business. Kenny would still get up every morning and make his donuts, and Paul Roberts would be there inevitably the next day to buy his breakfast, and he'd say, Kenny, you got to get in the trash business. Well, Kenny was a baker. He had no interest getting in the trash business. Well, for those of you that recall, Tulsa's trash collection system before the change that happened a few years ago was kind of different. It had a bunch of independent haulers in there. Well, finally, Kenny decided, by God, I'm going to get in the trash business. So in 1970, he bought his first route and his first truck. And literally, he was hauling around the Southern Hills area and Golf Ball Hill, you know the water tower up there. He was hauling that area, had about 1,000 stops. He literally would work, all day, early morning to haul the trash, and then at night, he'd work all night to keep the truck running. And he'd be out there on the gravel or the concrete, fixing leaks and repairing hydraulics and just doing the things that he had to do to keep the thing running. Well, 10 years after he got into the trash business, he was thinking, I'm not sure this is worth it. Paul Roberts talked me into this. I bought this route. I'm stuck with this truck. I got a backup truck though, so that when this truck breaks down, I at least finally have this backup that I can drive. But I got to keep them both running now. He just wasn't sure it was worth it. Well, he had an opportunity come up where some lawyers owned a company called Citywide. This is back in the day. I believe their color dumpster was kind of a burgundy color, and it was called Citywide. Well, lawyers, any lawyers in here? Love you. I mean, God love you. And we do too, amen? Amen. We have to. No, but these lawyers were going bankrupt. And so bankers had heard about the trash business Tulsa, and they were looking for a trash man who could basically take over the Citywide company that was kind of going down and bring it up. Well, Kenny was kind of tired of curbside, deal and doing the, you go to the curb, or you go into the, back then, you didn't go to the curb to haul the trash. Back in the day, back in the 70s, you had a key to their backyard. You had a key to their side of their house, and you go into the garage and grab the bag and take it out. Especially those highfalutin folks over there by Southern Hills. I mean, they got really nice treatment, it was backyard service +1. It was very nice. So he's wanting to expand his horizons a little bit, so he talks to these bankers. Lo and behold, I mean, what did they have to lose to let Kenny roll the dice on this deal, right? They didn't have anything to lose, they had everything to gain. So they let him do it. In 1980, Citywide became American Waste Control. Kenny came up with that name, brainstorming with some family one night, and that's what it became. What's amazing is he never set out to make this company what it is today. He had two goals in mind: take care of his people and take care of the customer. And it's amazing that whenever your goal lines up with the goal of our Father, how God bless. When your goal is people and impacting people and making a difference in their lives, that's his goal. That's what motivated Jesus to go to the cross. And so when his goal became people and taking care of his people, his employees, and taking care of his customers, something started to happen. And people were dedicated. They were working long hours. They didn't care how many hours it took to keep the trucks running or to keep the trash hauled. And so in 1980, that's what started American Waste Control. Today, our family's over 600 strong. Now that includes their spouses and kids, because we include them in it because we're paying for them. One of the things that we're known for is we have a very rich benefits package. We pay for all the health coverage for the whole family. We don't want the families paying any premium whatsoever. We pay for it all. We have a doctor on site. We have clinics all over the city where our employees and families can go for free. A chiropractor on site, a personal trainer on site. We take care of our family, and our family is 600 strong. So in 1980, American Waste Control started. In 1987, we started TRT, and that's Tulsa Recycle and Transfer. I'll talk about that more in a minute. That's our recycling facility and our transfer station. Y'all ever been to a transfer station? Imagine Dirty Jobs. The show Dirty Jobs on Discovery. It's just like that. It's very, very cool. And then, and then in 2000, we started our waste to energy landfill, and I've got some pictures that I'm going to address that in a moment. And then in the last 4 years, we started AES Certified, which is a remediation company. It cleans up the messes at refineries or terminals, some things in the oil and gas field that need to be cleaned and remediated and restored. That's what AES Certified does. So it's vertical integration at every level of the waste stream, essentially. Over 600. I tell you what, we have our Christmas party every year here at the Wyndham, and when Kenny gets up on stage and he looks out over everybody, I mean, it moves him to tears because it just blows his mind. He never expected it to do that. Now, the question that people always ask me, Paul, did Kenny get back into the residential business? That's what started him. He was hauling residential trash for 10 years. Surely he got back into the residential business. Well, I got good news. In 2012, we bought a company called Control Waste, and from Barry Simpson. And Kenny, for the first time since 1980, when he left the residential business, he re-entered the residential market. And so we haul the city of Glenpool, Jenks, the majority of Bixby, areas near Skytook and Owasso and Broken Arrow, outskirts of those areas. So we have 33,000 residential customers that we haul curbside. They'll take the cart to their curb. And it's a great thing. As a matter of fact, that's Dave Schultz. He worked at Controlled Waste when we bought it, and he's still with us today. He loves working, being a part of our family. We love him being a part of his family, him and his wife and their kids. So we're extremely excited about it. That's Katie over there, and that's Isaiah right there. Isaiah started as a helper on the back of a rear loader, and he saw the potential. And this gentleman on the right, he saw the potential, and he got a CDL license, and now he drives one of our $330,000 trucks hauling trash. Wow. I mean, that's pretty cool. You know, I mean, that's his American dream right there. And on the back of a rear loader for $10 an hour, and now he's driving a truck making 70, 80 grand a year. That's not too bad, right? So. And the intent of these pictures is I want to show you the kind of what we do and then the people behind it. This is Alex, Alejandro Carvajal. I call him Alex, and I mean, he does a fantastic job. I mean, look at his attitude right there, just the pride in what he hauls, you know. So he's in this truck. He's hauling rear load. So maybe you say, well, you know, Paul, I've got some real delicate asphalt on my property. I don't know if I want that big, heavy duty front load truck driving on my property. Well, no problem. I'll get Alex to drive out there with our rear loader. You know, so we've had a rear loader route. This is what Kenny used to haul. You know, not the same truck, but the style. You know, rear load type truck, residential back in the day. So this is one of the oldest ways of hauling trash with a rear load type packer situation. So that's Alex, great guy, been with us about 8 years, and he's just about as feisty as he looks. So. This is John Sanders. Oh, this is fantastic here. John, we got him when we bought the residential company in 2012. Now, here's what's cool about this truck. Those of you, does anyone live in Bixby or Jenks Glenpool? Okay, so we haul a lot of your trash with this kind of truck. It's called a Corrado style truck. What it is it's got this hopper on the front with a robotic arm. It's not a side-loading deal where the robotic arm is behind the driver. The robotic arm is in front of the driver, and he can see it grab the cart and dump it into the hopper in the front, and then he'll literally lift it up. After he picks up like 7 or 8 houses, he'll lift it up and dump it into his truck and keep on going down the road, versus a rear load or a side load where the arm is behind him, and he's always looking behind him there. It's a very cool truck, very sophisticated. I mean, you're just sitting there on a joystick all day. It's very cool. I love to go out there on the route and see them do it because it sure makes it look easy. It's not, because that's a big truck to maneuver in and out of neighborhoods, but they sure make it look easy. And John does a great job for us. Been with us 4 years in November, so he's a stud. He is. This is Brad Fisher, probably one of my favorite guys. We have over 135 trucks, so I'm just scratching the surface here. Just give you a little bit of nuts and bolts of what we do, who we are, and the men and women behind it. This is Brad Fisher. He drives one of our commercial front loader deals. This is the truck that's picking up all the waste from Robertson Tire. So our front load containers has it's got the steel container where you can fork it in the front. The truck comes and lifts it up. This is the truck that would pick that up. Brad would be driving that. We've been picking up Robertson Tire for a long time. And for my family, your family, thank you. I mean, it means the world to us that we're servicing you, and I mean, we get giddy about it every time. As a matter of fact, there's a special project that I have for you that I'm going to show you. I've been talking to Shane a little bit about it, that I'm going to email Shane, and I'll show you later. Anyway, sorry. Squirrel. Sorry. Anyway, so Brad does a fantastic job for us. Been with us for 20 years, and still one of the hardest working guys we've got. He tells me all the time, he's like, you know, Paul, I could have been a drag racer. I was like, really? Tell me about that. And he came to my office one day and he just had all these pictures. This guy had his long hair. I mean, pictures with all these drag cars. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, man, you. It's not that you could have been, you was one. He's like, yeah, but I wouldn't trade this for the world. I was like, what? He said, being a trash man. I was like, well, I appreciate that. Anyways, Brad is just a great guy, hauls trash, does it great, starts at midnight, and he'll work 10, 11, 12 hours, and I mean, just does a great job for us. So this picture was taken in the streets of downtown Tulsa, and I told, whenever he was smiling for it, I was like, no, show us a mean look. Come on, show us something serious, and I like this pose he gives. So this is Scott Butts. He drives one of our Mr. Murph trucks. Now what's great about Mr. Murph is he's been with us for about 19 years. What's great about Mr. Murph is if you have a Mr. Murph container on your property, or if you see one around town, we've got over 500 all over Tulsa, you can put all your cardboard, paper, plastic, aluminum, and steel into one container, and then Mr. Murph, this truck will take it to Mr. Murph, where Mr. Murph sorts it. I mean, it's unbelievable. Mr. Murph is what allowed the city of Tulsa to come out with is that Rob? Hey Rob, how are you, sir? Good to see you. Mr. Murph is what allowed Tulsa to commingle the recyclables. So if you live in Tulsa, you have a blue bin, okay? American Waste Control doesn't pick that up. I bind that in the name of Jesus. No. We did bid on that contract and we didn't get it. It's okay. You don't get everything. It's all right. We can't have everything. We can't be greedy. But a wonderful local hauler hauls that for the city of Tulsa very cheaply. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're friends, right? We're friends. We're brothers and sisters. So they take the contents of the blue bin. They're not in here, are they? Of the blue bin, and they take it to Mr. Murph, where Mr. Murph then sorts what you put in your blue bin. Okay. So anyone have a blue bin here? Yay. Yeah, it's fantastic. It really is. I mean, it's about time Tulsa recycled at the curb, really. As a matter of fact, the paper this last week had a great editorial from somebody who had just moved to Broken Arrow, and they were like, why is Broken Arrow not recycling yet? And they're working on it, but give them some time. We're in the Midwest. It all starts on the East and West, and by the time it gets to us, we fix what they kind of screwed up. So it'll be great. This Scott Butts does a great job for us. We've got 3 guys driving these Mr. Murph trucks all over town, all over Tulsa. I mean, we go far picking up these recyclables. What's great about it is it's the right thing to do. You see, there's not loads of money in recycling. Trust me, if there were, I wouldn't be here. I'd be, in the islands with Ted. It'd be great. We'd be having the time of our life. Celebrating after he got out of the hospital. It'd be great. But the bottom line is it's the right thing to do. You're taking resources that have already been made into a product and you're reusing them, breaking it down to go back into the raw materials to make a new product. It's the right thing to do. And we're stewards over these resources over the earth, and so that's what makes it the right thing to do. This picture this is Roy Wagner's been with us for 21 years. Fantastic guy. He drives one of our roll-off trucks. This is the truck that has the huge box on the back of it. Construction projects, remodeling, you need to clean out your garage. This is the box that you'll have, okay? I like to get one of these quarterly and just tell my wife to load it up or I will, and that doesn't go over real well, but I wish. No. You have 5 kids, you accumulate a lot of stuff. These papers they bring home from school are recyclable. I mean, he's 4 years old. I don't know. I mean,
you don't say that to the women, though.
No, you can't. I want to give him a box this big and be like, this is what you can keep. So anyways, it's adorable. So this picture, one of the things I like about this picture is just keep in your mind, be okay, Senator. Just remember that. Okay, we'll talk about that more in a minute. Roy does a great job for us. Another thing that the truck, this truck hauls are compactors. Really, units that compact the trash, like behind shopping centers or malls or movie theaters or casinos or hospitals, these kinds of things. So this hauls that. Every month we do over 5,000 hauls with our fleet of about 35 roll-offs every month. So that's a lot of moving. There's a lot of driving in a month. It's amazing. One of the cool things about American Waste Control, and it blows Kenny's mind and my mind that we do this, is we have our own shop on site that works on all of our trucks. Got like 15 mechanics that these men keep our trucks running all the time. It's no longer Kenny out there with a cigar in his mouth, under his truck, cranking and greasing and lubing. It's now we've got a crew of 15 men that keep these 135 trucks going, and they're doing it on 2 separate shifts, and they keep these things running. They work hard for us. We have trucks with over 2 million miles on them because of the care and the preventive maintenance we do on these assets. So it's incredible. This is David here. He's changing something, legitimately doing something. It's not a stage shot, I promise. This is a stage shot. I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to admit it. This is. But this is Miguel and John. One of the things we do is we do all our own fabrication and installation of these compactors on site. We either rebuild old ones or we get new ones, and we install them on site at these manufacturing facilities, hotels, casinos. The hotel here has our compactor on site. I mean, these men are geniuses. They're basically engineers, electrical and welding engineers, because of what they can fab and install. I mean, it's actually beautiful. Hahn Appliance has a really beautiful setup. If you ever feel like driving on the back side of the warehouse and noticing their compactor, they have a really pretty setup. Anyways, great customer too. Now this is Mr. Murph. So where do we get the name Mr. Murph from? Murph, M-U-R-P-H, is just the way we came up with spelling. MRF is the technical term in our industry. We call it a material recovery facility, MRF. And we just called him Mr. Murph just so it would be teachable to the young people and to the kids and my kids, and that's where we got the name. We created this character. We like to think he has a conveyor belt on his back, like our machine there in North Tulsa has lots of conveyor belts. I mean, you wouldn't believe it. It's actually pretty insane. But that's where Mr. Murph, that's who Mr. Murph is. We have a mascot with him. He goes to schools all over town. He goes to retirement homes all over town, just talking and teaching about recycling. He actually doesn't do much talking. It's the person that's there with him that does the talking. So he smiles a lot. But that's Mr. Murph in a nutshell. Just so you all know, I've heard a rumor that at the Tulsa Christmas Parade this December, you're going to see Mr. Murph unveiled as a 4-story tall balloon. I've just heard some rumors. You might want to bring your kids and grandkids because it'll blow their mind. What was that?
I might bring Ted for that.
Yeah, do, and that one. It'll be great. It'll be great. So this is essentially the transfer station, the MRF, where all the sorting takes place from all the recyclables, mixed waste, and mixed recyclables. It's a pretty amazing place. I mean, look at that. Look at that line of, that's one heck of a roller coaster of aluminum cans. It's kind of pretty. I got this picture in my office and somebody said to me one time, "Oh, you should make that into a puzzle." And I was like, I would go insane trying to figure that thing out. You know, like a 5,000 piece puzzle. I mean, all those aluminum cans. I mean, maybe if we ever had a snow day or something, I could do that. That'd be fun. So what's neat about this facility at 1150 North Peoria is it also is home to Tulsa Indoor Dump. So if you don't want to drive to a landfill, if you don't want to rent a dumpster, load it up in the back of your pickup truck or trailer or whatever, drive over to our facility, 1150 North Peoria, drive over our scale, and just dump it off in our indoor dump. There's a warehouse right next to where this MRF is located, where you can pull in and unload your trailer, or we can drag it out for you, and then you can go be on your way. You know, that way you avoid the landfill, avoid the mud, avoid the holes in your tires, and it's fantastic. So TulsaIndoorDump.com for more information on that. But that's where Mr. Murph lives, and it's a really cool place. Like I said, dirty jobs. All right, just think about that. What's neat about the Murph is it is a $10 million investment in North Tulsa to bring about automated recycling for Tulsa, but we still have 47 amazing people all over this line that are doing quality control and checking. So this $10 million piece of equipment can only do so much if it weren't for these precious people that are there doing quality control, keeping an eyeball on it, and making sure it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. So they didn't tell us that when they sold it to us in the brochure. I can tell you. No, I'm sure. So, you know what I mean? Because you think $10 million for automation, you wouldn't have to have people. Wrong. You have to have people. You know what I mean? You have to have people. That's, it's just the way it is. Mixed recyclables. Every month we recycle enough material to fill 24 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Every year there's a BOK center. We recycle enough material to fill the BOK center 6 times. Since 1987, we've recycled enough material to fill Cityplex Towers or City of Faith, whatever you remember, and BOK Tower 17 times. So there's a lot of recycling going on. Before we installed Mr. Murph, we recycled the old-fashioned way. Kenny called it kicking and picking. And it was basically drive the trash to the transfer station, drop it on the floor, and you better get as much as you can out, because we're not going to bury that at a landfill. Get the aluminum, get the metal, get the plastic, get the cardboard, get as much paper as you can before it gets, wet and yucky. So the old-fashioned days. It's funny too. Kenny still swears he can get more recyclables out by kicking and picking than by the $10 million machine. And I said, I don't doubt it, sir. I do not doubt you. So this right here, this is. You ever heard of Shell Creek landfill in Sand Springs? So in 2000, we bought Shell Creek. It was pretty close to being closed by DEQ. And after we bought it, we spent another $20 million to dig everything up, and then properly line it. This is what a properly lined landfill looks like. A landfill is actually a scientifically created tomb. It entombs the trash. It can't leak out. It's impenetrable to pressure to cause it to leak, to hit the groundwater. And then it's monitored monthly by an independent group that comes out and tests that groundwater every month to make sure there are no leaks on the groundwater. Not only while it's running, but even after it closes, to ensure that the earth is protected and this is decomposing our trash. Because the point of it is not to entomb it for the point of 100 years from now saying, well, there lies our trash, God bless it. No, that's not the point. The point is to properly entomb the trash so that it starts to decompose. Well, what happens when trash decomposes? It creates gas, right? Landfill gas. And the largest percentage of landfill gas is a gas called methane. You guys know methane, it's pretty nasty. It's a harmful greenhouse gas. Most landfills do a thing called flare. They flare it. They have a huge giant flare right outside their landfill where they're flaring, because why? It burns clean. So they earn carbon credits for that. They sell their carbon credits and they earn money for that. Well, it just wasn't the right thing to do for us at American Waste Control. So what we do at our landfill is we drill and we have pipes going all into our landfill. And the largest vacuum you've ever seen, you've seen the movie Spaceballs, remember that? The largest vacuum you've ever seen, vacuuming the landfill gas from the landfill and pumping it into our waste to energy plant on our landfill property. It's amazing. I kid you not. And if you don't believe me, look at the muffler on the top of that thing that keeps it quiet. I mean, it's just amazing. You can hear this thing hum, and it literally pipes the gas into a scrubbing system that scrubs the landfill gas, puts the methane on this side, condenses the other gas back into water, and they recirculate that over the landfill so that it helps the garbage break down even further. And then the methane gas goes into an engine like a 20-cylinder Caterpillar engine, huge, sitting on the inside of there. You don't want to be in there without ear protection. And then that spins a generator that creates electricity. And what's amazing is, from the moment we close the landfill, which will be in about 60, 70 years or so, today, and from the moment we close the landfill, we will have power for another 50 years. So take the 60 years of the life of our landfill plus the 50, with power generation for 110 years for 15,000 people. It's absolutely amazing that we do. As a matter of fact, this is about to go up to around 25,000 people, 8,000, 9,000 homes in Osage County, because we're going to add another generator to it. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. It blows my mind. Now, here's the funny thing. We actually made more money selling carbon credits, but it wasn't the right thing to do. To sell carbon credits for somebody who is polluting, for somebody that's not, it just doesn't seem like the right thing to do. Well, this is the right thing to do. It's renewable energy. It's if God owned the landfill, that's what he would do, and we happen to think he does own the landfill.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
Amen.
Okay. So this is Kenny on Earth Day. and I said, and I told Kenny that I was going to tell you guys that this was him on Earth Day. It's actually not him on Earth Day. His thing is, Paul, it's Earth Day every day for us. But he's literally planting sunflower seeds here. And just before that, he was planting milkweed for the monarch butterflies. One of the things that's unique about American Environmental Landfill in Sand Springs, no longer Shell Creek, now American Environmental Landfill in Sand Springs, is we're truly trying to conserve our natural resources. When Kenny hears about something that needs to be addressed, he fixes it. This is him planting sunflowers. We had just planted milkweed for the monarch butterfly. You should see the butterflies at our landfill. I mean, it is amazing. This next picture is a picture of our beehives. We have tens of thousands of bees and are producing our own landfill honey. He read a story where there's a shortage of honeybees and that's affecting the ecosystem. He said, not on his watch. So he called me at 3 in the morning and he said, get me honeybees. So I said, yes, sir. So our landfill manager is now a trained, what do you call those folks?
Biologist.
Yeah, beekeeper. Yeah, he's now a trained beekeeper, biologist. And he didn't sign up for this, trust me. But he's taking it in strides. He's doing a great job. He really is, our landfill manager, Todd Green. And anyways, it's absolutely an amazing sight. I tell everyone it's like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I mean, you just would not believe it when you go out there. The bees and the monarchs, and we have a deer habitat. And we have cattle where they're not for food, they're for pets, literally, just to give them a place to roam, kind of thing. At this beautiful landfill in Sand Springs. Love to give any of y'all a tour. My contact information will be at the end. You can shoot me an email, and whenever things slow down after the holidays, maybe I can give you all a tour sometime. It'll be fun, I promise. It'll be great. The question we always get asked is why? Why do we do all this? Why? Why not just collect the trash and collect the money and call it good? Well, the reason why is because it's very simply, I mean, Tulsa is our home too, you know. Tulsa's our home too, and we don't believe we own any of this. We believe we're just stewards over this. And so it's the right thing to do. When we look at Tulsa, I mean, I'm born and raised in Tulsa. Kenny is a transplant from Pennsylvania. He came to Tulsa when he was 10 years old. And when he looks at how he wants to leave Tulsa whenever he's gone, he wants to leave it more beautiful than it came, you know. He has a 15-year-old daughter that is extremely interested in the business and wants to take on it and make her daddy proud of the business too. And so why do we do this? Because it's our town, it's our home, and we're just borrowing it, you know, and he owns it all, and we're just here to make these talents grow. So that's why we do it. That's what motivates us. That's what gets us going in the morning, gets us to wake up every morning. I'll just share with you a couple more things. Additionally, what kind of pushes us to this is you know, the next generation, educating them toward recycling. This is our Mr. Murph mascot. Isn't he adorable? And a young boy recycling some aluminum cans in our deal. What's fantastic is he puts that into the Mr. Murph container, and we have a debagger at Mr. Murph where literally when we see that bag that's full of recyclables, we can grab it, throw it to the debagger. The debagger will strip the bag out and spit out the recyclables back on the conveyor belt. I mean, it's pretty fantastic. The other thing that motivates us to do this is just being a blessing in our community. One of the ways in which we do this is by supporting the Tulsa Christmas Parade. Y'all may remember there was some controversy about this thing for a few years. And we're pretty well known in our industry for squishing controversy because it's right or it's wrong. That's kind of the way we look at it. So one of the things we want to do is we want to be involved with this to squelch the controversy. It's a Christmas parade that we're going to have for our community, and if you want to be a part of it, you're welcome to. And for the last few years, we've done so with Soldier's Wish, benefiting a soldier at the end of the parade, granting a wish to a soldier, and Craig, who was here earlier, he had it right. I mean, you know, I don't even think it's the government's job to take care of our veterans. I think it's the church's job, you know, and Soldier's Wish is one way in which we do that at the Christmas parade. It's a nonprofit parade. Funds raised go to pay for the parade and pay for granting a wish to a soldier at that night of the parade and several times throughout the year. It's a fantastic opportunity. Plan to be there December 10th on the streets of Tulsa. It's the 90th year of Tulsa Christmas Parade this year. And you know, a couple years ago, 50,000 people were there. Last year, 35,000 because of the rain. You all remember the rain? I do. I'm still wet from it, actually, because of how bad it was. But it's a fantastic deal. It really is. Another thing, another reason why we TulsaChristmasParade.org if you need more information or want to see a map. Another reason why we do this is I got 2 more slides. This one and another one, and then I'll be done. I'll do it real quick. When we bought Shell Creek, there was some land that had some stables on it, and we were going to mow it down with a bulldozer and make it a landfill. Well, Kenny had just seen on Dateline NBC, one of these shows, a thing called hippotherapy, or equestrian therapeutic horseback riding, and kids with, you know, Down syndrome and autism and other physical or mental challenges ride these horses as a means of physical and mental therapy, and they actually get better. It's actually, I mean, it's amazing the bond that this animal creates, that tool that God used in these animals to do this. And our executive director, I mean, you should see her. She's out there every morning laying hands on these horses. I mean, just praying the heck over this place. And we go down there and we join her. I mean, it is an amazing, amazing place. And so one of the things we've done with our dumpsters recently is we've added a sticker to the front of it and say, proudly supporting atrcok.org, American Therapeutic Writing Center. And it's a fantastic deal that if you know that American Waste Control Services, we're the primary contributor to this because not a whole lot of people know about it yet. But Kenny's been doing this, our family's been doing this since about 2007, and it's a really cool thing. It really is. Quick story, there's a young girl who came to ride, and this is when me and Kenny were there one time early on. When they brought her there, they wheeled her in. She was probably 10 years old. They wheeled her in. She was buckled into her wheelchair. Well, when she got there, they unbuckled her wheelchair, and her body just snapped tight. I mean, like a tree limb. I mean, she was just so tight. And then they took her and they sat her on the horse and put their helmet on her and started going through the arena and going through some exercises. And when it was all said and done, 20 minutes later, when she got off the horse, they put her into her wheelchair, and she was just like a noodle, just laying there. And the pain was gone. She was smiling. And she was just there like a noodle. And then went ahead and buckled her up because they knew, hours later the next day, her body would do that thing that it would do. And her mom said, we come here 3 times a week, and every time we do, we don't know why, but she just gets better. And we're like, we know why. So this is a really neat thing that we're involved in, and proud to be a part of it.
Fantastic.
And the reason why we do all this is because of this. Not only is the purpose of our business to take care of our people and our customers, which we mean that, we really, really, truly do. I know every business says it, but we really mean it. but I firmly believe that the purpose of business is to fund the gospel and to fund projects like this. That's the purpose of business. It's not so you can get that bigger toy or that bigger thing. There's nothing wrong with those big toys and big things, but that's not the purpose. And so we firmly believe that the purpose of business, the purpose of creating wealth, is to establish His covenant, is to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. We have good news.
Amen.
We should share it. We should spread it. And so I brought with me 20 or so copies of this book. This book inspired me. My original pastor, Bob Yandian, y'all know Bob, Pastor Bob?
Yeah.
My original pastor wrote this book. I went to Grace for 25 years, loved Grace, loved Pastor Bob and Rob. And so I bought 25 copies of this, or 20 or so copies, to bring here to bless you all with, because maybe you know it, we'll take it and reread it. Maybe you want to sow it into somebody else's life, take it. I don't want any money for it. I want you to just take them, okay? I don't want to bring this back to American Waste Control. It'll be embarrassing if I do. They'll be like, whoa, nobody grabbed the book, Paul. No, but really, I brought some copies for you guys because this book, it changed my life when I read it as an ORU student. And I had a meeting with the Dean of the School of Business, Dr. David Dyson. I said, there it is. That's all I need, And he's like, get back to class. No, it didn't work. No, but it's a great book. It's a great lesson. The verse of Scripture is Deuteronomy 8:18 that I always like focus on. Remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth, to create wealth, so that His covenant can be established as He swore to your forefathers. That's what it's about. And that's what makes, when you see that driver, if you happen to be up early at 1, 2 in the morning, and you see that driver going down the road, you remember Deuteronomy 8:18, because that's what's motivated him to do it. Because I can guarantee you that driver's a man of God. And when you see that helper on the back of that truck, remember this, go slowly around them. Be careful. They have that new law that just started November the 1st. So go slow when you pass them, and then just remember that's the man of God right there, and pray for him. And remember that all this is about is to establish His covenant on the earth. So thank you all for your time. I really do appreciate it. Back here.
Well, he's right. That book is phenomenal. I've read it. It's a great, great book. Great resource. You probably all know it. But refresh yourself with it. It's a free resource today. What I want to also do today before we leave, real quick, we are partnering with a few Regent Bank and a few others that we are buying bicycles to give away to children this Christmas, and we're partnering with DHS. And we are going to deliver bicycles to the kids, DHS, and the Women's Fellowship decided they wanted to donate helmets. So we are going to give away bicycles as well as helmets to needy kids in DHS, and it's just going to be a great opportunity to give. We're going to be able to have bicycles here next week. If you want to purchase a bicycle, donate money, however you want to do it. It's our purpose to give as many bicycles away as we can this Christmas. I want this fellowship to really dig deep. I want this fellowship to really realize that we're not here for lunch, but we're here to make a difference, as Paul does. And I appreciate you and your message, Paul. What a great, great story. And again, it's about giving back to this community. That's what this fellowship is about. So if you really, really, really want to do something this Christmas for somebody special in DHS, we are partnering with DHS. And Ted, give us stay where you're at. Don't move a little. Just quickly, don't move. Tell us a little bit about what your heart is about these kids.
Well,
Hold on, Ted. This needs to be proper. You know, you brought your briefcase today. I brought your briefcase too, but in your briefcase, you got that. I brought your crown. I brought your crown. So now go ahead.
well, you know, as your president for 26 years, we're always looking for something in the community that we can be a part of. And God put upon my heart these foster children. I talked to Kathy Little Fortune, who's the ex-mayor's wife, and she's involved in that. And I thought we ought to do something that will help these foster kids. You know, DHS doesn't have the place to put these children now because they closed them all down. And they got to wait for a foster parent to get them. So there's two things we're involved in, and I really want you guys to think about this. We're going to buy $1,000 worth of bikes. YBT is going to buy $1,000 worth of bikes. The women are going to provide the helmets. I would like for you fellows to really get behind this. We'll take $100 for a bicycle. Some of it will go into our ministry to get further along, but the rest of them will go to foster. I talked to a lady from DHS yesterday where we'll make sure that somebody don't come to get a free bike and then sell it on eBay or something. So she's going to supply us with a list of foster kids that really need it. Then come April, we're going to team with Joy and the Cause again at the Renaissance Hotel. It's a big deal. There'll be 1,600 people there. And she asked us to, because of what we did with the police department last year, putting toys in the back of the police car. She asked us if we would help her. She'll have about 1,150 people there. We had 350 last year that bought tables, and we're going to try to do that again. Regent Bank, I think, is going to help us. But we're going to supply backpacks to these kids because when they're brought in, they have nothing. They had no underclothing, no anything. And so that program is going to be where we help these kids in transition to be able to have a backpack full of things that they really, really need. So in closing on this, I want to tell you something. This is not just a bunch of men meeting for fellowship around the table. Not to us and the leadership. We really, really want to go out into the marketplace and make a difference in people's lives. And I challenge all of you to get involved in this and think about it and pray about it. And next week when they assemble this bike to show you, let's really get behind it and make this a Merry Christmas for these foster children. Okay?
Who do we invite? What's the name of this place now?
This is TCB.
Tulsa Christian Businessmen.
TCB.
How you doing, Rob?
I want to say, Ted, were you finished?
Uh-huh.
I just want to say, and David, and I think everybody joins me, you know, I'm just so thankful that you're back.
Thank you so
I am
much.
so thankful that you are here amongst us where you belong. This is your vision, this is your passion, and we really believe that we reached heaven today.
Absolutely.
And your healing is coming, your healing is here. And so, David, why don't you pray us out, would you?
Absolutely. You know, I thought Paul did such an incredible job. Excellent. There's one thing I thought of. Folks, he pastors his business.
Yeah. Right.
Okay? That's what you and I are called to do. Pastor our business. And what we've loved today is a man is pastoring his business.
Let me say real quickly that God put upon my heart a while back. We've heard good testimonies, but you know we're business people, and I wanted to do something on a 6-month trial. And that is to bring Christianity in business in a seminar type that David is taking care of. He did it last month. He's going to do it again. I think the message this month is don't do business
It's
by
going to be called
default.
designing your life, basically.
Then he'll do it on that. He's already done it on attitude. He's done it on leadership. So I want to try that. And so I'd like for you to bring a businessman that needs to hear this. It won't be so much a testimony as it will be how to be a better businessman and a better person and how to operate your business under Bible principles, integrity, honesty, character. Okay? Help us next month and or this next week, and let's fill this place up for people that really need it. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's good. It's going to be called Designing the Life You've Always Wanted. Okay, let's pray. Father, today we thank you for the testimony of a man of God who pastors his business. Father, we pray that you would help each one of us to be stewards of that which you've entrusted to us. Father, we want to pastor responsibly that which you placed in our hands as a testimony to the world that we are Christ's followers, not by just the words we say, but by the things we do. Father, we thank you that in this room is men with a heart to pastor what you've given to them. So God, anoint us that we would not be just businessmen, but we would pastor the business for the glory of God. And we thank you that we partner with you through the power of the Holy Spirit. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. And you are free to visit